Well, now, avoid these merry-go-round money groups that you guys are in. Guess what they are? They are useless. And maybe if you do not know what are these merry-go-round groups, perhaps you are in them, let me explain for you to understand. Maybe you're watching this from differently from Kenya. Now, these merry-go-round groups are this situation. Like you have like 5 people or 10 people. You come together and you say like each and every month, we're going to be contributing, let's say, 200, all right? You're 10 of you, 10 people, okay? 10 people. Now you'll be contributing like 200 Kenyan shillings, or okay, let's say you'll be contributing 200 Kenyan shillings. Therefore, it means that you, the 10 of you, are actually contributing how much? You're contributing 10,000. Is it 10,000? You're actually contributing what we call 2,000, brother. You're contributing 2,000. Now the question is, this is what happens. Now see, you are 10 of you, 1, 2, 3, all the way to the 10th one, okay? Now what happens is that you guys, what you do is that the first month, this is the first month, what happens is that you take this 2,000, you give to this guy. You get the point? And then you meet the next month, you contribute, you get the 2,000, you give to this guy. And then you contribute, you meet the next month, you contribute, you give to this guy. Guess what happens, guys? This is what we call the merry-go-round. All right? You each and every month you contribute 200, the 10 of you get the 2,000, you give the first guy, the second guy, the fifth guy, the whatever, until you finish the last guy. Once you finish the last guy, then you go back to the first guy, you do kind of the same. Let me tell you one secret. This is an old-fashioned way. This is a very wrong thing. This does not happen in 21st century. 21st century things have changed. And let me tell you one thing, the genesis of this kind of a thing. Usually call it the table banking. Depends on where you're watching this from. See, this thing was started by the women. Well, I'm going to borrow the idea that I know and the genesis of this thing that I know as far as our country is concerned, Kenya. Maybe you have your own version from your own country. This idea actually started with our wonderful grandmothers and our mothers back there in ages. Why? Because back then women were not supposed to open banks, okay? Bank accounts. So what they used to do, because they never used to have bank accounts, so they could just come in a crude way and actually have this thing called the table banking, so that at least they can help each other to save and such kind of a thing, all right? But right now, as you speak, anyone can open a bank account irrespective of who you are, according to the law. Now, the point is this. You're still using the solution of 1970s and 1960s to solve the 21st century. This is not happening. And I'm going to give you the one reason why this thing does not happen in 21st century. And obviously, you know where I'm heading. These people are never covered by what we call, or they never cover themselves from something called inflation. There is something called inflation, and nobody talks about this. And if they do, then they don't stress on what this exactly is. It's like right now, as you speak, the inflation of Kenya is around 7.67%. Meaning, that is, by the way, this is the data according to the Central Bank of Kenya. You can always check it out from the website of the official website, okay? But I had now is around 6 point something, 6.8, 6.9, around there. But anyway, it's more or less 7%. So the point is this. This is the rate at which your money is losing value. The rate at which your money is losing the capacity to, or something called the purchasing power. So the moment you guys do these kind of things, you don't factor in the 7.67%. Therefore, you think that you're being given the 2,000, but the fact remains that the power to purchase with 2,000 like 2 years ago does not remain the same today. That's for a fact. So this is what I would propose you guys to do. So if you are 10 of you, by the way, and you're contributing the similar amount of money, let's use the similar amount of money. So you are 10 people here, and you've agreed that each and every month, obviously you guys operate under what we call rules and regulations. So if you're 10 of you, and you're contributing the 200 as agreed, obviously that is 22,000. I would agree you guys go ahead and do what? Formalize. You go ahead and formalize this group, all right? And you go ahead and do what? Register this group so that it can become a what? A registered group, so that you guys can become a registered what? A registered group. You go to, there is a certain section or place called Huduma Center in Kenya. Huduma Center. Huduma Center, it's a Swahili word, means Huduma is a service. So it's a service center. You go to that service center where you can access the government services. Guys, if you're watching differently from this country, different from far from Kenya, I understand I have followers from Zambia and all those kind of guys. So you go check your version of this Huduma Center. You go register your group. In Kenya, you're supposed to have at least 10 of you for you to actually register and be given a certificate. So once you acquire or get that certificate, then you can go ahead and maybe in a bank or maybe maybe in a SACCO or a financial institution, or maybe you can go and open a money market fund, or you can even invest in bonds and bills and such kind of a thing. So now you're having that certificate of a registration, you're obviously going to be given a certain card, such as we call it a sort of an authorization to go ahead and open a bank account or a SACCO account. So you'll be channeling this amount of money each and every month in that specific account. And obviously, say you go the SACCO way, if you go the SACCO's way and open maybe, let's say, a share capital account, a share capital what? Account. Therefore, you are entitled. Let's say your SACCO is giving you, let's say, 15%. 15%. This 15% is way above than what? Than 7.67%, which is the inflation. It means that your money is actually not losing, but is actually gaining, because the 15% is above 7.667%. Now, what happens is that your money is actually growing. So at the end of the year, definitely your money won't be like this. For example, each and every month you contribute 2,000. Therefore, it means it's 2,000 multiplied by 12. Then what does it mean? You have yourself like 224,000, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 24,000. And then it is this 24,000, it's subtracting what? 15% of it. All right, 10% of it is, just call it more or less than 2,000. So you'll be having like 26,000. Guess what happens? Your money has actually increased by what? By 2,000. And this is the point. Now, you having this large number of group of people, then it means that you can actually use that number to help you secure loans. You can be able to sort of ensure each other for you guys to be able to go ahead and take a loan. You can either take loan as individuals, or you can decide to go ahead and take a loan or loans as a group. And your money, actually, I know I used a small amount of money. Definitely you guys, I know you maybe you're putting a quite of a high amount of money at the end of the month. All right, so then it means that amount of money that you're putting in that a specific circle, you can actually be given 3 times, or sometimes even 4 times. 4 times of your what? 4 times of your savings. Now, this amount of money, you can go ahead and do what? This is how you guys grow, rather than actually talking about short form or short-term goals and short-term solutions. So let's say now you've been saving here. Let's talk about a substantive amount of money. Let's say you guys, you're saving 2,000. Each and every one of you is saving 2,000. 2,000, and you're 10 of you, then it means you guys, you're saving 2,000 per month. So this 2,000 per month, if you multiply by 12, then you're guessing maybe you're saving around what? Is it 240,000? 240,000 per year. You get this one, maybe gives you like 20,000 or something, or sort, 15% of this. All right? Maybe you get like another 20,000. Maybe you're having yourself like 244,000 at the end of the year. Now, this 244,000, that is after the 15% reduction of the taxes and what have you, gives you like an extra 2,000. So 20,000 brother. So you have yourself like 244,000. Now, this 244,000, this amount of money can actually be multiplied. Depends on the circle that you are in. It can be multiplied by 3, or maybe can be multiplied by 4. If you multiply this by 4, then you have yourself close to 900k. So this is like 900k. Let's call it like 850 Gs. So 850k, you can go ahead and use this amount of money to acquire what? You can acquire a property. So you acquire a property. Say you show up with this amount of money. If you come from Kenya, you go to Nyandarua, you have yourself a what? A full acre. You have a full acre of land in a quite of a presentable place. Sometimes you can get more than an acre of land. A 1 acre of land actually has how many? It has 850 times 100 plots. Okay, it has 8 times 5. It has 850 by 100 plots. Obviously, these plots are less than the number of you, because you are 10 of you. So what you decide is not to keep for yourselves. You can go ahead, subdivide this area, and maybe you can take like 2 months contribution. You go ahead and value add this plot. Maybe you can fence. Maybe you can actually do some electricity. You value add. You subdivide the plot, and you can resell this plot at 250k, or you can sell it at 300k. So if you sell it at 300k, multiply by this, you can just imagine how much you're gonna get out there. Repay back the loan, and then you have an extra income. Then you do the same. As you guys go, you repeat in this period of like 2 or 3 or 4 years. Guess what is happening? You people, you are talking long term. You people, you're actually going there, and you're actually helping each other to grow. But if you just stand there, you're contributing 2,000 at the end of the month, and then that money you're given, you buy yourself utensils, you buy yourself some couches and carpets and such. you ain't gonna do something that's gonna help your life, that's for sure, because at the end of the day, you're buying sustainables. Sustainables does not help you in one way or the other. So those are the things that you're supposed to avoid as much as you can. Run as much as you can. That does not solve the 21st century. It used to solve the 1970s problems, but today it does not solve the problem. It's good to move with how people are moving so that at least you can be able to do something at the end of the day. And sometimes I usually feel bad when even I see men in these things. You know, you know, it is quite weird that you guys, for example, we have some other transport systems here called boda boda. You find some boda boda people, like 30 of them are coming together. Each one of one is contributing 500 times, then that is per day. Can you imagine that? These guys are 30 of them. Can you imagine that? 30 people are contributing that amount of money per day. 30 people contributing 500. How much is that? That's 15,000. 15,000 multiplied by 30. That's already a crazy money. That's already a crazy money. That's like 450,000 if I'm not wrong. Multiply that by year. These guys are swimming in millions. But the problem is that they contribute this amount of money, they give it to somebody. Is my mathing actually 500 times 30? Yeah, absolutely. That's 15,000. So these guys, they take that money, they give to one individual. They take that money, they give to one individual. You're supposed to have what we call the long-term goals. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from today, 10 years from today, acquire those properties. By the way, there was a certain in dailies, there was somewhere people who operating in those what we call the cottage industry and these normal and juakali. In Kenya we call them juakali. They're just people who do the normal things here and there to barely survive, and they actually build themselves a very big estate. I think it was worth over 50 million or 60 million or something of sort. That's quite amazing, provided you actually have a chairperson who is actually a visionary, somebody who sees far, somebody who carries your hand. And let me tell you one secret. For people to buy this long-term idea instead of people being given their money, maybe let's say a week, a day, or maybe at the end of the month, not majority of the people actually go buy this idea. For those who actually go ahead and see the idea, will go ahead and buy it, and you're gonna do greater things in this life. So anyway, guys, guess what? At all the occasion, in anything that you do with money, always be on the winning side. And I always tell people this, okay? Always put your money where your mouth is, or put your mouth where your money is. Either way, make sure that at least both things meet. Your money and your mouth, you always meet. Because you can just be there thinking that you're doing the right thing, and by the time you realize you're messing up big time, okay? So the point is, avoid this merry-go-round kind of a thing. It's amazing. It was a good invention. It was working back then. Nowadays and right now, it is not working, because I know you're about to comment on the comment section, told me, oh, it's the one that I pay school fees. No, now those are emotions. I'm not talking about the emotional part. I'm talking about the logical part. Don't tell me, hey, you know what? I don't go hungry because I buy food. Don't go. I know some of the wonderful ladies, yes, that's what they'll say. Hey, I buy some ketchup, peppers. This is how I do. Let me tell you one secret. This is not an emotional discussion. This is a logical discussion. And I know perhaps you might say, hey, you know what? We get into this merry-go-round because we do not have the discipline to save. I agree. I do not have any problem with you getting out of the merry-go-round. No. There's no problem with that. What I'm saying, just upscale the thing and get a registered certificate. Then you can proceed in having what we call the long-term goals. Anyway, that is it. That's my submission as far as the merry-go-rounds are concerned. For now, it's a goodbye, but never forget, you can always pick my number. It's always on the description of this specific video. We can actually have a conversation. Give me a call, and my email is also there. You can take that email and shoot me an email. Tell me what you'd like us to have a conversation about. I offer those services at a cup of coffee's price. Obviously, that means it's quite affordable for anyone and everyone who is watching here. And don't forget one thing, just leave a comment section there. On the comment section, just leave us something that you're gonna say, and also like this video. And if you're watching for the first time, make sure that you hit that subscription button. For now, it's a goodbye, and see you in the next one.